What is going on? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Um, Penn State football. So Matt Campbell comes in after a long head coaching search. We all know Matt Campbell's the new head coach at Penn State. Just made an what I would consider an elite hire to this coaching staff and personnel from Iowa State, but it was one of the key pieces at Iowa State. If there was any personnel and staff and coaching that I was hoping he would bring from Iowa State to Penn State, it would be Noah Pauley. And he just brought him over. Noah Pauley is the new wide receivers coach at Penn State, the same guy that has helped develop many NFL wide receivers, Jaden Higgins being one of them, um, Jalen Noel being another, and many more. He's done a great job with receivers at Iowa State. This is a guy who just last year he was interviewed to be the San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator. If that's saying something, or that alone should say something. If he's a college receivers coach and getting interviews to be the offensive coordinator for a premier pro or a premier franchise like the 49ers under a elite coaching tree over there, that's saying something. That's saying something. You got a good guy over here. Now, we're going to keep this pretty short. I do want to jump into Penn State depth chart and kind of talk about what to expect here and what I think how this could really benefit Penn State, like off the rip. So you went out and you got Kyron Hudson, you got Devontae Ross, you got Trevor Pena, all out of the transfer portal last year, but you're losing all three of them. Now, a big thing for Penn State last year was you weren't playing the right players at certain times. Kobe Howard should have been on the field a lot. Tyseer Denmark should have been on the field a lot. Especially they should have been seeing reps over Liam Clifford because Liam Clifford was getting reps over them. I don't understand how. But you're losing pretty much your entire receiver room. Like you're losing four guys out of the six on the depth chart. So what do? Obviously, you're going to have to go get some portal guys. But Kobe Howard is going to be a starter next year. I think getting Noah Pauley helps you be able to retain Kobe Howard and hopefully even Tyser Denmark. Hopefully they stay at Penn State. If they do, you got something cooking there. If you're able to return Ethan Grunkmeyer as well, you don't really have much at running back because you're losing Katron Allen most likely. You're losing Nick Singleton. I've liked what I've seen with Cam Wallace in the sample size. He's looked super explosive, super agile and athletic. Corey Smith, obviously, I think it was near a 5-star during his recruitment. So you got something going there. You got a good tight ends coach. Actually, you lost one of your big tight ends coach to Virginia Tech. He's the new offensive coordinator over there. But you got a new guy from Iowa State who I'll break down in another video because we're going to do a full staff video. We're just talking about receivers here. I think this Penn State offense could look good, though. You're losing Khalil Dinkins, which wasn't really a bright spot anyway. Luke Reynolds, I could see him maybe hitting the portal. Actually, I believe he's already in the portal. Andrew Rapplier, that's the guy that probably should have been starting tight end to begin with, and I think all the Penn State fans would agree. He looked explosive the times that he got in. He looked like the next big Penn State tight end because Penn State's developed some good tight ends over the years. Um, you're losing some O-line. You're gonna have to hit the portal for a lot on the offensive side of the ball. Like I said, you're still gonna have to go get a few receivers because you're only gonna have Kobe Howard and Tyser Denmark. They're two starting caliber receivers, and I think with the help from Noah Pauley, I think at least Kobe Howard can turn into one of the best receivers in the country, and I don't think I'm getting ahead of myself there. I think he has all it takes to be one of the best receivers in the country under the right development. That's been lackluster for Penn State is wide receiver development. Like Kyron Hudson, he was good at USC, came in, didn't do anything. Devontae Ross, he was good, came in, didn't do anything. Trevor Pena came in, didn't really do anything. And we've seen it in years past too. Like Amari Evans, I feel like we kind of wasted his talent. A few others as well. I mean, there were plenty. There's been plenty come through Penn State, and we just never really produced wide receivers like we would hope. Like the last one was John Dodson. and he was never fully elite. He was a high draft pick, but he was never viewed as an elite wide receiver. And I think that's really held Penn State back in these years. Is we've seen it in college football now. If you have elite wide receiver play, you're probably going to have an elite offense. Just look at Ohio State. I think that was one of my keys for Penn State. You got to get a good wide receivers coach in. You got to get a good offensive coordinator in. I think they did that. I think they've done that. I think Matt Campbell has done that for Penn State. And if he is able to retain Kobe Howard and Tyser Denmark, they're they're young. You're gonna have them for another 2 to 3 years. I think the future's bright over there. And I don't think it's crazy to say, like I said, if you do retain Ethan Grunkmeyer, if you do retain those receivers I just named, if Cam Wallace really does live up to what I think he can be, if Corey Smith lives up to what I think he would be, I think I think this offense could be pretty explosive next year. It does come down to protecting the passer. You are going to have to hit the transfer portal, but for offensive line at least. But there's a lot of good O linemen in Iowa, so I would assume Matt Campbell could go back to his Iowa roots, pull in some big O linemen that could protect Ethan Grunkmeyer because I think Grunkmeyer has a very high ceiling. He showed me a lot of potential down the stretch of last year. He looked very poised. He started to look comfortable. Once he started to look comfortable, he was dialed in. And keep in mind, he was still working under Andy Koldenicki calling plays, and that did not go so good for Koldenicki's tenure here at Penn State. But I do think this offense could be very explosive, and I do think Noah Pauley is a elite wide receiver coach, and I think this is big, big news for Penn State that hopefully a lot of people don't look over. Because, like I said, I just want to mention it one more time. This guy was viewed as an offensive coordinator candidate for the 49ers just last year. So you got something cooking here. I think Penn State really does have something going for him here. So I will be doing another video that's probably going to be posted next week over every single bit of staff and personnel that Matt Campbell has brought in and kind of react and give my honest thoughts and opinions on every single bit of the staff for next year for Penn State. So if you are interested in that, consider dropping a subscribe down there. There's a button down there that you could subscribe to. And if you somehow did enjoy this, I would greatly appreciate it if you did subscribe. But yeah, we have plenty more coming. Lots of Penn State content coming. I really love Penn State football, so lots of Penn State content coming. So if you're a Penn State fan, you've supported me already because first off, you click this and you're viewing it. So I do appreciate that, like very much. And all of my past Penn State videos have done pretty well. So I appreciate all the support from all the Penn State fans there as well. So yeah, more Penn State content coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.